Why do some people blend into the background while others seem to magnetize success effortlessly? It's not about money or being the smartest person in the room. It's something deeper: respect. Most people don't realize how powerful respect truly is or how to earn it, but I can tell you that gaining real respect is one of the biggest reasons I've been able to build the life I have today. Let me share 6 game-changing habits that transformed me from awkward and overlooked to respected and unstoppable. If you apply these, people will start treating you differently, guaranteed. First, speak now, not later. Most people stay silent, avoiding confrontation or delaying hard conversations until resentment builds. Don't do that. If someone crosses a boundary, even a new friend, address it early. Missed a meeting or showed up late, say something. You don't have to be harsh, just honest. Respect is built in the moment, not months later. You don't have to get angry to make a point, but staying silent only teaches people it's okay to cross your boundaries. So get comfortable with hard conversations. Here's how I do it. First, I reframe the fear. I don't say I'm confronting someone or being rude. Instead, I tell myself I'm being clear. Imagine the power of communicating with that clarity every time. Second, I build the muscle by tackling small issues early when it's a level 2 problem, not a level 10. This way, every conversation becomes easier, and over time, I handle bigger challenges confidently. Remember, the size of the problems you face shapes the size of the life you create. If you avoid the small stuff because you're afraid of hurting feelings, you'll miss out on building something big. Third, I avoid emotions. I don't get mad or heated. I stick to facts, explain what's needed, and ask for confirmation. For example, here's what we agreed on. Can you confirm? This keeps the conversation clear and calm. No drama, just results. A powerful tool I learned from my friend Jefferson Fisher is setting the frame. Before a tough conversation, say, "This is the conversation I want to have, and here's the outcome I'm aiming for. Is that okay with you?" For example, "I'd like to talk about your performance in yesterday's meeting. My goal is for us to be on the same page, that you'll always show up early and prepared. Does that work?" This approach sells the conversation before it starts, making it easier for the other person to agree even when it's uncomfortable. This is ninja-level communication, and Jefferson's podcast and book dive deep into it. Now, let me get real. You teach people how to treat you. I have a teammate named Koopa, great guy, but he loves to talk. When he started interrupting meetings, I politely brought it up. He promised to improve, but I had to remind him several times. I even bought him a shirt that says verbose, as a joke. But every time you let behavior slide, you're telling people it's okay. Avoid short-term discomfort, and you create long-term problems. Most people get disrespected simply because they're afraid to offend others. Which brings us to trick number 2. Stop being so nice. I'm not saying be a jerk. Just stop trying to please everyone or get everyone to like you. I used to be the nice guy, accommodating and jovial. But my coach told me something important. Everyone says great things about you. That's actually a problem. Why? Because if everyone likes you, it usually means you're not saying what needs to be said. For the goals you want, it's impossible to be liked by everyone. That's okay. I choose to be a good man, not just a nice man. Being nice keeps people comfortable but doesn't hold them accountable. Here's how I do it. Give feedback without sugarcoating. Like with Coop, I said, "Hey Coop, can I give you some feedback?" He said, "Sure." I said, "In meetings, you often repeat questions and add extra words. It wastes 20% of our time, which makes these meetings very expensive." He understood and agreed to work on it. If you can't give direct feedback, you're robbing people of growth. Also, learn to say no without guilt. No is a complete sentence. You don't always need a reason. Sometimes, just no is enough. Or you can say, "I'm overcommitted and can't make it, but thank you for the invite, it means a lot." Sometimes, you just have to say, "I'm already tied up." Being direct, kind, and saying no is completely okay. If you want respect, constantly saying yes sends the wrong message. People will think you have all the time in the world. And that's not respect, that's availability. I respect people who set clear boundaries because they know what they want and aren't afraid to say no. They have a clear agenda for their life and protect it fiercely. Most people say yes to avoid conflict, only to regret it later, showing up stressed at events they don't want to attend. But being kind sometimes means being kind to yourself first. And that starts with saying no. Sometimes people get overlooked before they even speak. which leads us to trick number 3. Respect your looks. It blows my mind how many people ignore how their appearance communicates their seriousness. Neglecting your looks is like printing a book without a cover. Whether fair or not, people judge based on what they see first. If you walk around disheveled and unkempt but expect to be taken seriously, it won't happen. I started as an introverted programmer, the classic neckbeard nerd look. But when I stepped into meetings with successful entrepreneurs, I realized I had to look the part if I wanted to be taken seriously. Your appearance shows the level of respect you expect. I once heard Sal Frisilla say, "I don't care what you have. I care about how you take care of what you have." That hit home sometimes. I'm not the best caretaker of my things, like my cars. But that quote reminded me that respect starts with how you present and take care of yourself. I've got a few cars I love to drive, and sometimes I put them away wet or don't worry about cleanliness. That made me realize I needed to change how I take care of what I have. Think about your body. I've said this before. The bicep vein is like the McLaren of the body. It signals discipline, trust, and reliability, the message that when you say you'll do something, you do it. So ask yourself, do I look the part? But looking the part isn't enough. If your voice doesn't match your appearance, you'll never earn true respect. That brings us to hack number 4. Speak with strength. Imagine if your GPS had a shy, uncertain voice, would you trust it? I work with a lot of young people and tell them to turn it up a little. If you have an idea, speak it with confidence, not shouting or interrupting, just speaking as if you truly believe what you're saying. I see many people avoid eye contact or mumble, then wonder why no one takes them seriously. If you don't take yourself seriously, no one else will. Here's what I learned from top speaking coaches. Complete your sentences. Don't trail off. I'm guilty sometimes too, but finishing your thought is key. Drop qualifiers like maybe, I hope, or kind of, because these words signal doubt and weaken your message. Speak with certainty. Avoid should, could, or would. These words give you an out. Instead, say what will happen. We're doing this. See you at 5 p.m. sharp. Offer decisions, not questions. Instead of should we do this, say we're doing this. People want to be led, they want clarity. Use pauses. Silence after a strong point creates weight. My friend Malta taught me that communication is like music, the silence between notes makes it powerful now. Let's talk about trick number 5. Lead with your body. Years ago, when I run on stage, I jump and stomp my feet to anchor myself. Someone told me it looked cool, but I do it for MIT helps me show that I take this seriously, even if I don't take myself too seriously. Especially after hurting my heel a few times. Your body speaks before your words do. It was hard for me. I had to buy a posture machine to pull my shoulders back because years of coding made me hunch. I'm 6 feet 3 inches and worried about intimidating people, so I used to play small. But fixing my posture helped me communicate certainty through my body language. Here's how to lead with your body. Shoulders back. It affects your energy, your voice, everything. Head high, chin up. Make eye contact, not creepy, but confident. Not staring down, just connecting. You're allowed to look away and then look back again. Don't just stare blankly into the night. And here's a simple one. Smile. Always. I once worked with a guy named Matas, massive, 268 pounds of muscle. He probably loves me saying that. But he never thought about smiling when he walked into a room. Honestly, he looked like an ogre. One day, he showed up wearing a beanie, a beard, and a tight shirt. I told him, "Bro, everyone thought you might kill them. Could you try smiling next time?" He laughed and said, "Yeah, sure." A smile can completely change the vibe you give off. 4th, anchor your feet. Don't rock back and forth, that's a nervous tick. Stand firm in your power. Walk with purpose. Use your body to emphasize your story, but avoid fidgeting or pacing without meaning. Movement should have intention. But gaining respect isn't just about first impressions or one interaction. That brings us to trick number 6. Be yourself, everywhere. Look at The Rock, Jelly Roll, Gary Vee, Oprah, Richard Branson. They're respected because they're the same person. No matter the situation. Some people think they have to play different roles depending on who they're with, but the most successful people, they're authentic. They're real. If you've ever tried to play a part, a buttoned-up, ultra-articulate version of yourself that's not really you, here's a truth. I'd rather be hated for who I am than adored for who I'm not. Here's how to be yourself everywhere. My friend Chris Harder says it best. Sooner or later, you'll get caught being yourself. so you might as well be yourself. Don't dim your light just because you might be too much for some. Shine fully. The right people will love that version of you. They'll lean in and say, I found my person. You'll have a happier life surrounded by people who truly get you, net those who like a version of you you're pretending to be. And if anyone thinks you're too much, politely tell them to find someone less intense. I know earning respect isn't easy. You'll meet people who disrespect you no matter what. But the more consistent you are with these tips, the more people will adjust how they treat and think of you. They'll respect you because you're consistent, authentic, and have a big heart. If you ever feel ambitious but stuck in laziness, click here and I'll see you on the other side.